videos, go ahead and subscribe and share them and hit that like button for me. Hey everybody, it's Matt with Everywhere Auto Repair. Today, see what we got in the background is a 1977 RV. It's I don't know what brand it is. Let's see if we can find the name of the brand. But it's built on a Chevy van. It's built on a, so it says Delta on the back. See, it says Delta right there, but I don't know if that's the model or if it's the make. Today what we're going to talk about are some things about buying old RVs like a 1977 Delta. So let's start from the beginning. The lady calls me and she says, hey, I've got an old RV that I want you to come out and I want you to change the oil and make sure there's no gas in the gas tank. It's been sitting for 20 years or so. No problem. Also, while I'm out, it needs a new battery and it needs what's it called? What else did it need? Tires. So you see it's got 6 brand new big ass tires on there. And I swapped out the tires and I put a new battery in it and I changed the oil and it starts occurring to me that this thing needs a lot of work. And I'll tell you who it did not occur to. It did not occur to my customer that this thing was going to need so much work. So right now, I'm telling her, hey, we should get an electric fuel pump for the in-tank fuel pump because it's like 30 or 40 years old, right? You don't want to. I mean, do you want to pay for me to put this old thing back up in there, and then take it down again? But the reason why I didn't put it right back up in there is because whenever I took it down, there's 3 rubber hoses going to the going from the engine back to the fuel tank, and they all are rotten. They all dry rotted right away, and I usually you'll get a little flex, and then you can reach up there and unclamp them and whatever. There's none of that. Okay, as soon as you drop down the gas tank, it all ripped right off. So we took the fuel tank out, but I didn't put it back in because the fuel lines are rotted. Okay. And then I drained the oil and I put a new battery in and I go to crank the motor and it won't crank. Now there's a couple possibilities. We could have a bad starter because I can hear a big old click, okay? Or we could have a seized motor, which is what I think is happening. Now I took all the spark plugs out and I sprayed WD-40 down in the cylinders, and then I tried to crank the engine over by hand, but the crankshaft pulley bolt, it just kept tightening. So we've gotten a gas tank out, we've got spark plugs out, we've got rotten fuel lines going to the back, and everything needs to be replaced. Everything. Okay, even if the motor isn't seized, even if it is just a starter, everything that's rubber needs to be replaced. So there's that. Now I got as far as the motor not cranking, and I called the customer. I said, hey, to go further, you really need to call somebody else. All right, I can do all this stuff like taking the gas tank out and changing the oil and all that. But I don't want to do troubleshooting on an old junkie mobile like that. Not interested in troubleshooting that. I don't work on these old trucks, okay? If you watch my video, hey, what jobs to avoid? I don't like working on these old trucks. And that includes these old RVs. It's the same deal. I needed money. I was short on work. I don't know. It was easy enough work, and I've gotten paid for everything that I've done so far. That's one thing about the way that this was set up. The lady gave me a deposit that basically I never went over the cost of that deposit. And then when the motor wouldn't crank, I called her up and I said, hey, this motor's not cranking. I don't want to mess with this anymore. You need to call somebody else. And understandably, she's upset. Like, well, now I've paid you almost $1,000 and my thing is not started. Oh, I forgot about that. So let's go over here. So this thing was parked in this customer's backyard. Or my customer bought the RV from her friend for like $1. Okay, basically gave it to her free. And look, they called a bunch of tow companies, couldn't get anybody to come out. And then they tow it to this right here. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but it's like a gravel pit with like pea rock. And they had it parked. Oh, I'll put a picture up right here. So you see how that thing was parked? It was completely unsafe. Every time I went to jack the rear end up so that I could take the tires off, the thing would roll forward. So here I am sitting here all day on the first day, and I had to get my own tow guy to come out and move it just across the street over there. Okay, right there. And then it was parked there. And the people whose house I parked it in front of were pissed. They were super pissed. So here I am working on this old RV. The lady is $1,000 in with me. She's got at least a grand into the tires. At least it's 6 tires. She paid $350 to the tow company that paid. What am I saying? That towed it into that sand pit, so it was completely, they just ripped her off. And then she's not a grand in with me, she's 1,000 in with because I had to call tow people. So she's actually like $700 or $800 in. That's parts and labor, you know. So here she is with a free RV, and she's already $2 grand into it, and it's still not running, and it's gonna need at least another $2,000 before it's roadworthy. And then to get it livable, you're looking at a couple $1,000, you know, just to make it not disgusting inside, because it's all old and rotten, and you need new stuff. So here we are, $4,000 in to a junkie mobile. It's a freaking junkie mobile, and it's gonna take 10 grand to make it not a junkie mobile. Now look, there's a dream inside of every boy to take an old 70s RV and turn it into a sweet, you know, camper, whatever you want to do with this thing, cook meth or whatever. I'm just kidding. If you have one of these and you're not a meth head, go ahead and leave a comment down below. But yeah, guys, think twice before you go buying old trucks, old RVs, especially when you're not doing the work yourself. This lady didn't think that she was going to be $2 grand into a non-running 70s RV, and she was banking on this. She had plans for this. Somebody was going to stay in this thing. They were going to drive it around and do all kinds of shenanigans. Alas, not now. So I hope that this video helps you and enlightens you a little bit. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment down below. If you could, go ahead and like this video, subscribe, all them things. And then also, I have an Instagram that I'm going to start plugging. There's Everywhere Auto Repair, and then there's my name. It's Matt Cassing. So if you go and follow on Instagram and Facebook, there's an Everywhere Auto Repair. Go check that out, guys. Keep an eye out for them. What? What? Oh my